Happy Thursday evening, everyone. I'm Alyssa, and you are watching Make It Alexandria. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. It is my good pleasure to use this time to let you guys get to know local makers that are right here in our city and all the amazing things that they do. So tonight I have Megan of Megan Elaine Designs, and she does really, really fun jewelry and decor and uses vintage and upcycled pieces of jewelry from all over, and it's really, really incredible what she does. So Megan, thank you so much for joining us this evening. I'm so glad to get to chat with you tonight.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here. I've enjoyed watching the program and all the other designers so far.
Oh, thank you for watching. I appreciate that. um, please tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe apart from Megan Lane Designs, and then how you got started with this business.
Yeah, so I am from the DMV area originally, but when I left after high school, I've traveled the world. I have worked in international affairs for about 15 years, and a large part of that was working in developing countries and working on sustainability. And when I traveled around the world, I was also very interested in what local artisans were doing in the countries I was living and working in, and was always a bit of an artist myself. So when I came back to the DC area a few years ago, I thought I'd get back into art. But when I started to do so, I felt a bit convicted that, well, in my day job, I really focus so much on sustainability. I should bring that into art. And then subsequently, in the last few years, a lot of other areas in my life as well, even my own personal choices in terms of my own fashion and food choices as well. So at first, it was a bit of just a challenge for myself, creating pieces out of vintage materials, broken jewelry, anything that could be repurposed if it was broken. But it's expanded. And at this point, my goal is to really try and use as few new materials as possible. So I'm not just repurposing the jewelry itself, but I'm also doing decor pieces. And even when I'm doing paper or fabric, I'm getting that also from recycled or upcycled sources. So I make it my own personal challenge at this point to try and limit as much as possible the new materials I put into each piece. I also like doing it because each piece is unique. And for me, I really have always just loved vintage jewelry and clothes. I love things with a story and a history, not necessarily something that looks like what everybody else has or that you could just get off the shelf. So I really bring that into my pieces and art as well. They don't fit into one particular style. It's not just boho or art deco or modern. It's a little mix of it all. I don't think we need to fit ourselves into any particular box. So my pieces will mix a bunch of different styles, a bunch of different materials, and I try to make bold, bright, colorful statement pieces that hopefully people will continue to wear again and again. Because not only do I want to be eco friendly in how I create things, what I hope is that people will continue to use my pieces and not just put them aside or throw them away as well, right? Want to divert things going into the landfill at all parts of the process.
Well, first of all, I just wanted to say that I really appreciate and applaud your sustainable living and choices, and the fact that you've really built your brand around that concept. Um, I think so many local makers, and this is not just here in Alexandria, but I'm talking about our local makers are really attempting to be mindful of the products that they're using to create their finished piece, and everybody is just so concerned about doing the best for their customer, but that includes making sustainable choices. So first of all, thank you for that. I appreciate that. But second of all, I love also that because you are using that kind of material, everything is so unique. So I'm wondering if maybe Grace can show some pictures, or if you have some pieces in front of you, maybe we could show off some of your work so people start to get an idea of really what it is you do.
Yes, absolutely. I'd love to show a few pieces, and I know you have some photos as well. I have a few pieces here with me. My inventory is changing all the time because it is unique, and it's based on what I find. As I one of my favorite things about this business is, other than making the items themselves, is being on the hunt for new materials. So whether it's flea markets or estate sales or friends' closets, always looking for something new. So, we're about to come up to the holiday season here. So I've got a lot of my holiday pieces, and those are really fun because there's so many brooches and pins and clip-on earrings from people's holiday collections that are since outdated. And for me, I have a lot of things like from my grandma as well. So instead of throwing those things away, I like to create new pieces. So this is from a broken brooch and broken pieces of jewelry to make a Christmas necklace. And I also have here my Ice Princess Elsa from Frozen inspired bib necklace. And this is made from a series of broken clip on earrings, broken pendants, broken brooches. I've made it all into a new piece, big statement piece for the holidays. And then I have some more traditional pieces, of course, that I work on as well. One of my favorite things to repurpose is chandelier parts. Those are always just really fun. They have so much shine and character to them. So here's a necklace I've made from, again, a broken brooch and rhinestones, and a fun crystal chandelier part as well. Those are my jewelry pieces, but I've also moved into creating decor pieces as well. I have some larger pieces, such as end tables that are made from old suitcases, and then a lot of artwork as well made from jewelry. So, for example, this is one where Halloween is this weekend, right? So, here is a skull piece made from some broken pearls and other vintage jewelry as well. So when something doesn't lend itself to a new piece of jewelry, then I like to turn it into a mixed media art piece.
I love that. And I think actually you and I were chatting. I said, I bet you're gonna have something Halloweeny or fall inspired, and you did not
I
disappoint.
actually have something even more Halloween inspired for you, like a DIY idea for our viewers too.
Oh, awesome.
And this is a dual. This is a twofer, a Halloween and a Christmas idea. So right now, if you go to Target or you go to Michael's, one of the things that's really popular and really cute is the little wooden villages, the little wooden houses for the villages, and those lend themselves really well to DIY products. So I couldn't help myself. I bought a bunch of them the other day, and was thinking, what could I do to upcycle them? So I've made them into combo Christmas and Halloween villages. And what I've done, let's see if I can get a shot here with them all, is I've taken old scrapbook paper and I've taken broken
Uh,
jewelry parts and I've decorated them. So I'm sure everybody has, or your kids have, all your just little cheesy Halloween or Christmas costume jewelry, right? So you can use them to decorate. And what's great is these are two-sided. So I've made the other side Christmas, so you can use these for several months. Again, when I try and think about sustainability for things, it's not just the materials we use, which is important, but one of the most important ways that we can all be more sustainable is to just simply use what we have better and consume less. So for a lot of my decor pieces, if it can last longer than just a couple weeks of the year, then all the better, right? You don't necessarily have to go buy new stuff for every holiday every 6 weeks. Try and find things that last a longer time. So there's some great DIY ideas out there on how to use these little blocks. You could also just make them out of just wood blocks you have around the house, whether it's scrap wood or your kids' old blocks or playhouses as well. But it's a easy, fun idea you can do at home. And I know everybody has a box of junk jewelry sitting around, because every time I do a show, people come up to tell me that they have a box of junk jewelry sitting around. So if you want to know what to do with it, these are some ideas for you.
that is so fun. I love those so much. And I could definitely see my kids getting into something like that, and just kind of giving them some supplies and saying, enjoy. Let's see what we create. And one of the things that you and I have worked together in the past, and so I know that we have some history. You and I did an IG live together where you helped viewers kind of go through and think about different ways that they could repair some of their jewelry without first of all, just deciding it needed to go in the garbage, or second of all, maybe even some things that we could do for ourselves. And that was such, for me, very personally, I'll speak for myself. That was a really great little episode that we did, because I have a pair of needle nose pliers. Like, there are a lot of things that I could go around and just tighten up and tweak and give some new life to in new ways. So I just really appreciate that DIY kind of, let's let's just see what we can make of this kind of attitude. What are some of the other projects that you're kind
Absolutely.
of excited about right now?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm excited just for the general holiday season. Overall, I'm moving to make a lot of more larger decor pieces and art pieces. Moving in to make some furniture. I think it's going to be difficult to show here. I sent a picture as well, but let me see if I can get in here. So one of the things I've started making is tables out of suitcases, which is a really fun another DIY, reupholstering them, adding chair legs, and making furniture, repairing old shutters, and again, making those decor pieces. But also really expanding to mixed media. I'm going to have some pieces as well at the Del Rey Artisans Gallery over the next couple weeks. The theme for the upcoming show is groovy movies. So I'm going to have some mixed media made from recycled materials, highlighting some of my two favorite movies, Back to the Future and Legally Blonde. So you can go see not only my work, but the work by a lot of local artisans there. But the other thing I'm moving into, like I said, is the mixed media pieces. So I showed you the skull already. Here's a butterfly. I've previously made a lot of animals, tigers, nature scenes. And then here, this one is a Christmas tree. And I'm really excited for this piece to show you this because in the next few days, I will be announcing the launch of a new collaboration that I'm doing with Allison from Queen Bee Designs. Queen Bee, for those of you that don't know, I know a lot of people here in Alexandria do know Allison and Queen Bee quite well. She is, an OG businesswoman in Alexandria and jewelry designer and just all around fabulous human being. And we have very similar styles and aesthetics. We love unique pieces, bold, bright statement pieces, colorful, glamorous. And so we have decided to pair up to offer people the opportunity to bring their own pieces in, and we will make custom artwork for you that you can keep. Oftentimes, when I'm at a show, people tell me that they've got a few pieces, whether it's from their grandmother or their mother, or that's just sentimental from them from when they were younger, and they don't want to throw it away and ask if I do custom pieces, which in the past I did not do as much. But I'm happy to announce that since I will be working with Allison, we will now be able to offer for people to bring their jewelry in and we can make custom pieces for them to preserve their memories and also have a unique piece of art.
I think that is an amazing idea. I love everything about that, and especially that specific piece. I think is just really, really well done. So I'm excited. Allison is a friend, and I know her well, and so I think that this is going to be a really fun pair, and so I can't wait to see some of the other creations that you guys come up with. I hope people reach out, because that is a really um, it's a really fun way to keep those special pieces of jewelry, but not necessarily have to wear them. And so I love that idea. I would love to hear more about. Oh, so here's a great picture of the full table that you did. I love that. With, it looks like a cocktail
Mhm.
server. Nice. Love
Yep.
that. Um, and so those are some really fun things. It looks like we saw some of your upcoming shows and events that are happening. So I know that we kind of see you all around town, but when you are at your home and having, you know, I'm trying to picture what your home might look like to set up for all the work that you do and the creations that you make.
Yeah, it's chaos, which is why you're only seeing this corner right here of my office and not the rest of it. If you watch my Instagram, sometime later this week, I'm posting a reel of my actual table. It's a challenge going around Instagram right now for makers to post their actual workshop table without making it look pretty for the Instagram pictures. So yeah, this is for any maker. This is the busiest time of the year, between online sales and between in-person shows, and lots of people, doing that impulse buying and that gift shopping. And of course, last year with COVID, there was almost no in-person shows. I think instead of doing 6 or 8 that I normally do a year, I did maybe one or two. So they've started to pick up, since this summer. And I know you've had quite a few live in-person shows that have been really great. So I do have a few happening both in November and December, which I'm excited about. But it's, I think, for all of us makers, everybody please be patient with us because we're gearing up after a year of not having in-person shows, and in addition to, of course, supply chain delays and shipping delays and all of that. For me, though, the benefit, since I make everything out of mostly recycled, repurposed materials, I'm not too much beholden to some of these supply chain delays that are going on right now. They don't affect me as much, but certainly, shipping delays and other things do as well. For me, I right now I work out of my home to make my jewelry, like most of us. This is, my side creative job in addition to a day life as well. So I go back and forth between my office and then my dining room table right now, which is not a dining room table; it's just a craft table. But it's lots of fun. I enjoy it when I make my pieces because everything is unique. I lay everything out and I see what pieces will work well together, and I move them around a lot. And sometimes I'll have a piece and it might be a couple weeks or a couple months until I find another piece that I think will go well with it. So I really just
Mm.
have this really cool eclectic collection of materials laying out, and just spend a lot of time rearranging and moving things around. So this is going to be a very interesting year after last year being so quiet, but I'm excited for it. I know, obviously we're still taking COVID precautions at all the shows because, we still are in a pandemic. And I appreciate that all the shows that I'm being a part of, including the hometown holidays and Delray Artisan shows, are all taking serious COVID precautions. But it will be good to be back and be in person this year and get to meet our customers face to face, because that's the most exciting part for me.
100% agree. Could not have said that better. There is zero chance that I would partake in that maker challenge because you don't. It's not behind me. See, this is my corner, right? So it's everything
Right.
in front of the camera that you don't need to see. But we actually have a question from one of our viewers. Gwen would like to know if you can fix broken jewelry or turn pierced earrings into clip-on.
Yes, you can do that yourself. You can YouTube how to do that. Depending on what is broken and what needs to be fixed is something I can do. However, what I don't do is solder. And so that kind of depends on what the piece is and how broken it is. Um, and so, for example, if it's like a true fine metal, it's a gold, a silver piece, it's a family heirloom, you're going to really want to take that and spend the money taking it to a proper jeweler. We have quite a few here in Alexandria, like metalsmiths, who can truly fix it for you. Otherwise, if it's a matter of like the chain's broken or you have one earring and it fell off and it needs a new post, absolutely, that's something I can do. But that's something you can probably do yourself, honestly, and teach as well. Um, Looking at tutorials on Pinterest and YouTube. For clip-on earrings, that is one of my most common pieces of jewelry I use, actually, because I think all of us either remember or know from our mom or grandma's closet, like the 60s to the 80s was like clip-on jewelry central, right? And so all of, my grandma's pieces are all these giant clip-on earrings, and they're beautiful, but no one really wears clip-on earrings anymore. So that is something you can do, is you can just easily remove the part that is the clip-on, and you can simply glue with some, proper bead glue, jewelry glue, a new post on it. Absolutely. But if you really have like a super valuable, whether it's valuable monetarily or it's valuable sentimental piece, I recommend the best thing you can do is take it to a proper jeweler. And the thing about sustainability is, as much as it's to buy new pieces that are more sustainable. So if you're going out and buying something new, you should think about, is this a sustainable brand or business? But the best thing we all can do is just use the pieces we already have better, right? And take good quality care of them. So use the right cleaners on your shoes and use the proper techniques to repair your jewelry, and then they'll last longer and they won't end up in the landfill.
Well, I love that, and I definitely appreciate a good plug for DIY when it's appropriate,
Yes.
and that sometimes paying for the professional is the right choice in that, depending on the situation. So it's very sage advice, which I appreciate. um, so my I know you've done so much over the years, and you do have such an eclectic style. I'm wondering if you have maybe one or two thoughts about your favorite piece or perhaps decor item that you have put together, and it's just you're still like really proud of that and how it came together in the end.
Yeah, one of my first mixed media pieces that I did probably about 3 years ago, I was making jewelry, and then I'm a member of Del Rey Artisans Gallery, and they had a show specifically focused on sustainability and recycled materials. And so I'd previously only shown jewelry there, but they were asking, for gallery pieces, and every piece had to be made from recycled materials. So instead of trying to work with a new medium, I decided, well, why don't I work with jewelry as my medium for my mixed media art? And because I had a whole box of jewelry pieces that after I had used bits for a new piece, there would be little excess left. And so I made, a tiger picture out of old jewelry. And that was the first time I had made a media piece. And so since then, I've done a lot more media. I do decoupage, I do collage, but also like the pieces you see here behind you or the pieces I have coming up in the gallery. And to me, that was really fun because I never thought of myself as like a artist before. I thought of myself as a crafter, right? I would like to craft and make some jewelry. And so that really expanded my mind to think about all sorts of different types of media and ways I can expand my both just business, but also just my creative efforts into. So that's been really exciting. I think every couple months I'm trying to do something new. So hopefully in the new year I'm gonna expand potentially into doing more accessories, doing cards and such as well, because I've done a lot of mixed media pieces and people really like them, but sometimes you don't want a huge piece in your house, right? So people enjoy giving, personalized cards or other smaller items as well. So I'll be looking to, I think, expand into a few new mediums as well come the new year.
That's so cool. I love how there was kind of a moment for you when you realized that you didn't need to kind of continue to be in just one definition of a maker, and how that really expanded everything. I think that was the word that you used. So I think that's really exciting, and certainly that it's not even like a detour. It's just like a continuation of the journey. So yeah, that's really incredible. Um, where so you've mentioned where you see yourself going, and I'm just curious for this upcoming holiday season. Hopefully, Grace can flash that schedule for us one more time. I'm wondering if you'll kind of walk us through where we can find you over the next few weeks in holiday season.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited because this year, not only are all my holiday shows all local to Virginia, but they are all local to Alexandria. That's not usually the case, but somehow that happened this year, and I'm very excited. So I will be in just a few weeks here at the monthly Delray Vintage and Flea Market. This is an awesome monthly market that's going on in the heart of Delray, out of Mount Vernon Avenue, where it's a mix of makers and flea sellers. All the materials are all vintage. It's so much fun, different stuff every month. So I'm there most months, including this November. Then, of course, at the end of November, and I'm sure you'll talk about in a moment, is that we've got the Alexandria Makers Market Hometown Holiday Show at Port City Brewery. So that will be another fun event. And then I will be showing at Delray Artisans Holiday Market this year. Back, I think this is my third year there. I'm not sure. That's a yearly show for me, and I really enjoy being part of that community. And you'll be able to find art there by all local to the area artisans. And so that will be really fun. December 11th, I will be in Old Town at John Carlisle Plaza, which is just right off of Duke Street for the Alexandria Christmas Market and Holiday Craft Show. So I will have my larger decor pieces as well as my jewelry. But I will also have a whole lot of stocking stuffer ideas as well, smaller gifts, ornaments, etc. So just lots of really fun things, unique gifts for the holidays.
Well, that's really exciting. And I definitely agree with you that there is really no need to travel. Alexandria has exactly what we're looking for to get us through this holiday season. And I am wondering if they're trying to find you online, where should they go to connect?
Yeah, absolutely. So the best place where I share most of my information is on Instagram, but you can find me on Instagram, Etsy, Facebook, all of it under Megan Elaine Designs, all under the same name. I hope in there you be extending to some other social media platforms like Pinterest, where I can be sharing DIY ideas. But announcements about all of that will be via my Instagram page. So that's the best place to get resources. And from there, I link, my Etsy site and any other sites I'm a part of as well. So all of them, Megan Elaine Designs, nice, simple, easy, the same name across all the platforms.
Yeah, well done. That's not always easy to get the same handle for all of them. That's great. So, Megan, I'm super excited because you are joining me later in November for the hometown holidays. And so, Grace, if we could see that promo, that, yeah, guys, third annual hometown holidays pop-up event. We're going to have over 30 makers, food trucks, of course, Port City beer, which is the perfect pairing for shopping at, with local vendors. So you can grab a pint, walk around. We'll be set up in the parking lot, wrapped around their building, and it's just the perfect chance to support our small businesses. It is Small Business Sunday, not coincidentally. That was very intentional, and we're just really excited to partner with them again. They're always such gracious hosts, and we probably would not be here without them. So shout out to Port City. But I'm really excited to see you as always, and then just to see kind of these holiday pieces in your new round, from what I saw the last time we were together. So it's always, I think that's one of the most exciting things about you is that I don't know. It's always going to be a surprise because of the work that you do. So it's so fun.
Sometimes I don't even know either.
That's amazing. That's so much fun. Well, everybody, first of all, huge thanks to Megan. Seriously, thank you for joining me this evening. I love your message of sustainability and the drive that you have with your brand to kind of spread that message. And I really appreciate your creativity as well because your pieces are very beautiful.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for all that you do at Makers Market and all that Zebra does, both of you, and promoting all of us local businesses and local makers. It's one of my favorite things about living in Alexandria is just how much support there is from the community. So thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, of course. Yes. Zebra is the best. I mean, hands down, right? The heart of Alexandria, really. So, with that, you guys, that's our show. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you again to Megan for being a guest this evening. Please tune back in right here on Zebra because we're going to have an amazing lineup next week. And I'll be right back here on Thursday. So we'll have another maker join us, and I'm so excited to show that off. But in the meantime, as you go, shop local, keep it Alexandria, make it Alexandria, and go be the good news in someone's life.